So we're outside now. One of my new additions is this red-eared slider, which I believe it's a hypo bumblebee, as Lamont tells me, and its name is Pineapple. And I've got, kind of cover on it and everything, just because, I want to make sure it can't climb out and things like that. But we're just vacationing it kind of out here for the summer until I get bigger tanks set up in the fish room. So I've got some time while I'm waiting to go to the airport. And I thought I'd show off the tank. Katie, my wife, has been playing with it finally, and made choices I wouldn't make, but it's good because we're keeping stuff that I normally wouldn't keep, I would think. And so hopefully, I'm letting her take it at her own pace. Like this is not how I could do a tank. It just is impossible. I'm an all or nothing guy. So we've got some planting tweezers up here. We've got the intake sponges. We've got the dechlorinator, but things are just in a stasis mode here. There's still like some bulb plants in the bag and things like that, and this is where we're at. So she came to the store and just picked out anything she wanted. I said, you can pick whatever you like out of my entire store, and this is what she picked. So we've got some black swordtails, we've got some roseline sharks, we have silver tip tetras, and then believe it or not, one of her favorite things in here is the zebra danio. She's like, out of all the fish that she put in here so far, that's the only one. She's like, we need to get more of those. Those are nice. Which is, totally, it totally is true, right? Like, it is a nice fish. It's just not necessarily something I would have chosen. And we've also got Borneo sucker loaches. There's like 8 of these things running around in here. Haven't done a water change yet. I kind of want her to do that, and I'm trying not to take this tank over. I am the king of taking over a tank, because this currently, I'm not gonna say is like killing me, but from my standpoint, I'm like, okay, here's this magnificent tank sitting in the middle of our living room, and we could have any number of insanely rare, cool animals in it. We could have it fully planted. I don't even think fertilizer's gone in here yet, which, the plants are doing okay currently. Like this water sprite is making some. The Mayaka needs some TLC, some help. But, that's. I guess I'm trying to not take it over, because every time in the past I've just taken it over and I come in here with a whirlwind and I just do it all up and there's nothing left to do. So, I'm letting her do it on her time off, on her days off, when she wants to do it, and we'll just see how it evolves. It's kind of nice not to be in the driver's seat, because I just get to look at it, and I don't feed it. I haven't fed it yet or anything, and I'll let her come to me with questions. So she goes, well, how do I do this? I'll help her, obviously, but it's kind of just, I'm enjoying being a bystander, and it's making me like fish that I don't normally. It's not that I don't like, it's that I haven't liked in a long time. Like, there is nothing wrong with zebra danios. There's nothing wrong with a community tank like this. And, we're gonna, or I shouldn't say we, she wants to put some more gravel in so she can plant these plants because it's a little thin, things like that. She's thinking maybe the top is gonna make it really hard to get down in there, which it will. It's a tall tank, but hopefully we only got to plant it once, and then it'll be good from there. We want to get the sponges on the intakes, and if you guys don't know, that's the sponge right here we sell on the website. It's got a hole in one side, and it just goes, like, we walk over here, right on this intake here, you just put it right on the inside, and then no fish or food or anything like that can get sucked up in there. And if the fish ever breed and plant leaves, and I can show you on the other side, there's actually is some plant debris on it, and we would be able to keep that out, like this right here. And right now this intake screen has it, but as that gets more and more clogged up, that would be bad for this canister. So, but I'm gonna go out to the fish room and do some shooting out there, because I'm sure you guys want to see my new fish, so we'll do that. So everyone's been asking for updates on some of the Selectaquatics fish. These here are the Cracodon lateralis, bringing out some color, but the more important thing is we look way down low here, and I gotta find it again. There's some fry. Now the trick is, where did they swim off to while I was talking? Or it's right there, actually. Yep, I can't focus on right there. So in the center of the screen, there's one of the babies. Now there might be a few more, but I've only seen one. I've only, haven't looked that hard, to be honest. So, but that's a good sign. I like the fact that the fry are happening. That's a good thing already. This tank I desperately need to work on. I'm feeding it so heavy. Even though the water parameters are good, I'm feeding it so heavy because there's so many plecos in here. The water is murky, and it's a problem. I'm gonna say that. Like, this is definitely a reason why I need to get like one of the 40 breeders, not 40 breeders, those 50 breeders by Zoomed set up, because that would make a way better pleco tank than what's going on right now. So yeah, that's that. Brought in a bunch of these guys to the store. They continue to do well for me. Not nearly as well as just normal fancy guppies, as a seller, but, when you get them big and fat, everyone wants to buy a female like that. I mean, look at the color on the tail, look at the big dorsal fin. I mean, those are some of the traits you might be looking for if you were breeding guppies. Yeah, what else do I got going on in here? I've got new fish to show you guys, so make sure that'll be in here at some point. These guys, I need to work with them more. Like, these are the betta simplex. Got some up there. There's probably some. Yeah, I can see one way back there. But really, I need to hatch out live baby Brian. I've been lazy. I need to order some. That's half the reason I don't do it, as I don't have any. Let's see, where's something interesting to look at? That's what I want to find. I don't know if I have anything on this row. So I'm gonna have to. I do know I'm gonna bring in some more goldfish. I want to play with more goldfish. I want to grow more goldfish. Goldfish have been doing well at the store for me. I'm excited to see that Joey might do fancy goldfish, because I think they're not well represented in the hobby. And what I mean by that is totally that it's like well, I won't say it's like it is the biggest, what am I trying to say? Like, demographic? More goldfish are owned than any other type of fish, so it's huge, right? But, like, I was looking last night, like, there's no one really doing goldfish videos anymore. Like, Solid Gold doesn't do it. There was, Green Mountain Goldfish that doesn't do it anymore. And, mostly because I just wanted to nerd out about goldfish. I like to watch videos and go, man, I need to find me one like that. So maybe I'll play around with it some more too. And, I feel like for as big as it is, we're not doing it justice as a YouTube creator community. I've got them behind me because I like them, and I've got, koi totes and stuff, but I could do a lot more just because I enjoy it. So maybe I'll go to the wholesalers and hand pick some stuff. Maybe I can't order any in. My good Chinese source that makes all the great goldfish, they're sold out until August, so that's at least 1 to 2 more weeks until I could really order some high quality stuff. But yeah, so another addition. I need to set up the basking spot, so don't murder me yet. I'm working on it. The next time I'm working in the fish room, I've got the heat lamp and everything, but this is a diamond terrapin, and yeah, just kind of another turtle I'm holding for Lamont while he moves. And, he'll come back and get him. But, or I think so anyway. I mean, I'm assuming this is legal there. But anyway, I'm holding it at least for now. And so kind of a new guy to me. I want to grab some food here and show you the new things that I have. So I'm going to set up a planted African cichlid tank, which meant I need more African cichlids, because just some Tropheus devosii, that's one tank, because I don't really mix Tropheus with other things. So that'd be one tank, but, let's see what I got here. I've got some yellow labs, which those were like the first cichlid I ever really bred. They're skittish because I'm holding a camera up over them now. And then, so there's 13 of those, which they shorted me. I wanted 18. We'll put some food in there, maybe that'll calm them down here. And then we've got the morais, or Selectaquatics morai dolphins, and we got 18 of those. This is a fish that I'm going to need your guys' help with, because I have 100% of the time gotten rid of this fish because my fish rooms were never big enough. So what would happen is, like, I would have this fish for 6 months, and then I would track down a rare fish like, you know, something from Greg Sage or something like that. I'd be like, oh, I need the tank, the grout tank. I'm gonna have to get rid of them. I just sell them at a store. And so I need you guys' help not to do that. I really want to keep this fish and get it big and breed it. So, yeah, still lots of mess here. I'm really gonna spend some time. Like, I need to move a pleco over here for sure. This tank would look amazing if I just put a pleco in here. I need to start putting some ferts into the water, but it's gonna make everything go bad. So my plan is this. If I put fertilizer into the main bin, it'll go to all my tanks, and if I plant the majority of the tanks, that won't be a problem. That being said, there are tanks like these ones down here that have no plants and green water. It's only gonna get more green, you know. And it's what I like is when this happens, when you've got lots of like algae and gunk, that's a sign that your tank is really starting to settle in. Just because life and people, you know, when you're cycling a tank, just because you can process nitrogen, to me, is not a well-cycled or well-established aquarium. And I like my aquariums to be established, not just cycled. So, you know, I can do some big water changes, and I can put a UV sterilizer and clean some of this stuff up. But you can see right down the front here, looks like it's one of the fire mouths just starting to color up, really. And but yes, I realize these tanks look horrible. I get it, you know, and I got to clean it up. But I've got an insane week coming up. That's actually why I'm filming right now. It's going to be hard for me to film during the week. I have to go to a concert with my wife because that was her birthday present. I'm going to help Lamont move. I have to help my mother move. What else? There's a couple other things I have to do, and that's eating up all of my kind of days off time. And I might be able to film a little bit more today and a little bit on Sunday between the live streams, but I'm not sure. I do want to show this fish though. Another Greg Sage fish. Let me pull this bench up here. So these guys are really starting to color up. These are the Scyphia francisae. And if I can get them to come back up to the front here, but they're really starting to put that, you know, gold color and the black color on. Put some food in there for them, which still just feed my omnivore easy green mix because it's one of my favorites. And it grows fish well. That's the other thing is, like, I use it because it's not going to bind my fish up. It grows them well. And I can freely feed it. I don't have to worry really about overfeeding. Like, if I was using bloodworms, for instance, I'd have to be careful. Oh yeah, I want to feed these trophius up here. But yeah, you've seen my new fish, which the new fish are yellow labs, which they're not the highest quality. I need to line breed them and get them to be a much better quality, in my opinion. What else? I could feed these guys, my turtles. You know, this is the tank. I want to make this tank planted. The question is this. Oh, I just dropped this lid in there. That was like the worst idea ever. So now I gotta let this dry because that'll ruin all the food. The question is this. Do I break this tank down and go planted African cichlid? Or B, do I do an angelfish tank? Like, I would get the platies out. The platies are leaving either way, but maybe it's just a discus or an angelfish tank. This filter would come out if I'm making a display tank. I have to upgrade all the lighting because this lighting is not adequate for what I want to pull off in here. And lighting, you know, in my opinion, like if I pull this to the front, it'll look a lot better, right? Like, boom. Now all of a sudden these fish look decent. Now it's too dark in the back, but that's the problem when you have a tank that's 18 inches front to back. You know, I need more than one light. And yeah, so this is the tank that's got the erythromycin into it. Got all my fry. They're all getting bigger, doing well, you know. They're doing a pretty good job in here. I've got a little bit left, and that's from erythromycin, so maybe I hit them with one more dose, but really I need to get in here, suck a bunch of water out and gravel vac, and then I want to put a pleco in here and finish that job off. I might put a pleco in today, you know, if I can accomplish that. I really need to eliminate duckweed from this fish room. I don't like the duckweed I have going on in here, and that's what's keeping me from moving stuff around. Is if I move you know, those plecos, I'm probably going to move some duckweed with it, and that's going to be bad because then I've got another tank I got to get duckweed out of. And my goal for the duckweed is to get it out with goldfish. So if I bring a few more goldfish home, they'll eat it, which is nice. And I'll show you some more babies here. So these are all the Cyprichromis babies. You know, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. I'm not sure if there's many more in here. There could be, but another neglected tank that I really need to get to. And I realize I look like the worst fish keeper ever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're all healthy. It's fine. But I know I keep saying, like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. And one of these days I will do that. That's the problem, is I just haven't done it. And I guess I'm afraid that it doesn't make that interesting of a video, but I'm just going to do it now. I've got to feed these koi. Don't have the light on or anything, but you know, my auto feeders are out, so that's why I'm doing it by hand. But I kind of want to, so some things, I couldn't sleep last night. I was having trouble sleeping because I was thinking about goldfish. You know, that's kind of a weird way to not sleep, but I was thinking, let's put this food down, I can turn the light on. I was thinking maybe I can do a couple things in one go here. So like, I know I want to grow some goldfish out and things like that in here. What if I build an entire new sump filter and show you guys how I would do that, and then I grow goldfish and we test it and we learn and we, you know, I basically just want to create some really monster big goldfish because I like that. And this filter, it's not my favorite filter design. I just bought it because it came with some Laguna ponds, you know, but if we open it up, it's skanky and dirty. It's not designed the way I would design a filter. And so, you know, but if I got a couple of plecos, like just super red bristlenose plecos in here, they would clean this thing up for me. There's lots of debris in the bottom of it, and it's because there's no fish, by the way. So when there's fish, this stays clean, but now it's just growing lots of algae, where if we go one tote over, there is some fish, like boom, it's really clean. And that's because it gets picked up and the fish kick it up and it gets water changed out. In this tote, that doesn't happen. And so even though I'm putting in, no food's been going to that tote for like 2 or 3 weeks. And yet I put tons of food, handfuls and handfuls, in this tote and this tote. They run clean, essentially. You know, there's a little bit of algae here, but there's not the buildup that's over there. So, yeah, we'll look in on the messy office here, but the DIY filter I made is doing pretty good, honestly. So it's not, you know, hasn't overflowed yet, and this is exactly what I wanted to have happen, by the way. So I've got it, my water is, you know, pretty darn clear, that's good, and, you know, my water's running through it, that's also good, and, now I just gotta, so here's a dilemma I have with goldfish. It's the same dilemma I have with all the fish I end up keeping. For whatever reason, I always end up keeping fish that don't do well with snails. And so I need to get some algae eating crew in here because, like, I've got green spot algae right here. And this is going to get worse, and it's a real pain to get off of acrylic. And so I need to, you know, I'm starting to get a little bit of algae up here. Snails would fix that too, but I need to bring home like some big, I need like the, what do they call, the black racer nerite snails. I need bigger nerite snails so that they can't fit them in their mouth, because a goldfish can choke to death on them, and that's not going to be good. So I gotta work on that. You know, I've got the bristlenose in there, but he can only do so much. He can't really get There's a little bit of staghorn algae and stuff on there, and I could use some chemicals and stuff, but I really don't like to. I like to, you know, like fix it naturally. So I've also got 2 lights on in here, so I've kind of induced this myself by cranking the light up. Which, you know, if I turn the light back down, that'll probably help me a little bit, but it looks better on video, you know, and when we're shooting the live stream. So, you know, that's been on for a couple extra days on the timer, but yeah. So that's that. I've got to go to the airport probably right now, and the other thing I was thinking about is maybe I want more of these totes. I was thinking if I put this in this corner, that's like the best use of space maybe, because what else am I going to do back here, you know, otherwise? If I put this big tote back over there, I could probably fit a couple more totes over here at least and tie that into a drain. And yeah, and I own the 2 totes already, so that's a no-brainer. But yeah, I do want to keep some more goldfish. There's a few goldfish in here, like those couple orange guys. But yeah, it's, you know, I've got these filters. I think the biggest thing holding me back from really growing monster goldfish is the auto feeder. Just because I can only feed maximum of 2 times a day, and a lot of times I don't find the time to do it, you know. So yeah, I need bigger auto feeders, because like those auto feeders, they'll feed for like 3 days, but then they're out of food. And you know, you'd think like, well, just refill them every 3 days. If you're refilling like 50 of these things, it's not enough time. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna finish feeding, doing my thing here, and I'm gonna get to work. So time to do a water change on the goldfish tank here, and it's been about 2 weeks. I missed it last week. I don't remember why. I think I had to work at the store, and I had to get here like in time to get the show on the road, so to speak, for the live stream. So it's been 2 weeks, and today I'm changing water, not because of waste, and that's what normally people think they're changing it for. But you know, let's take a look at the water, and I'll talk about why I'm changing water. I'm going to use a simple test strip today to make it easy here on camera and all that. But now I've got my test strip, and we can look at some things here. So we know the top one is the amount of waste in the water. Okay, that's the amount of nitrates. We've got less than 20, and realize I'm also dosing this fertilizer, which is very high in nitrogen, to grow the plants. So I don't consider that to be a reason to change water. That would be fine for me. Hardness is okay. Alkalinity is okay. We come out of the tap water with like nothing, so I'm doing pretty good there. The reason why I'm changing water is pH. Look at that. You know, so my pH is low and my tap water is low. That's the problem I have, is that tap water here comes out at 6.8 with absolutely no buffer at all. So what's happening? Plants are digesting things, and you know, in general, we've just run out of pH, you know, and it's going to crash if I don't do something. So I'm going to change water in here. Now, if I just do like 20% water change, it's not really going to do anything. Even if I do 100% water change, it's not going to help the pH that much. It'll bring it to 6.8, which is better, but I'll lose all my alkalinity and stuff like that. So what am I going to do to fix this? If you've seen my other videos, like on crushed coral and stuff like that, I'm going to add crushed coral to this tank. This tank does have crushed coral, but I added a bunch of substrate over the top of it to make it so I could plant plants. Well, it's not getting enough circulation through there, so I need to add some more crushed coral in here. When I do that, that's going to cloud the water up a little bit, even though I'm going to rinse it. So I'm going to end up doing a pretty massive water change in here, and I'm going to get that started and you know, fix that problem long term. So, you know, I'm changing water, but not out of a waste thing. And most people, they just go, oh, I just change water all the time. But if I didn't test, I wouldn't know the pH is getting low. And if I only tested for nitrates, for instance, a lot of people with those liquid test kits, you guys get lazy because it takes too long, and you just monitor nitrates and things like that. And you don't even get a hardness test kit, so you can't even see these problems happening. So even though my nitrates are absolutely fine for this planted tank, it is not okay for pH. And so, yeah, some of you are going to test pH and stuff like that. I just like test strips, and I'm just explaining my line of thinking here. So I'm going to remedy this so that you know, it's better for the fish. What'll happen? So maybe like you're like, well, why worry about the pH? If it gets way too low, it's going to kill the fish, can cause their skin to melt. But in general, if I get the pH up higher, their color's going to look better too. The happier a fish is, the more they color up. And I know goldfish do best at like 7.5 or higher. And in here, we're at like 6.2, very low. And my tap is 6.8, so I need to bring it up quite a bit more than my tap water. So I'm going to get started on that. Just wanted to chime in, show you guys what to think about, and show off the goldfish. So hopefully you'll see in the live streams, because that's what I'm doing in between my two. I do them Sunday nights. Oh, I shouldn't say nights, but Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern. So 2 chances. Hopefully you fit into one of those time slots, but I'm going to get to work. So some people asked for an update on the koi pond and my white cloud pond, so I'm going to do that. The sun's setting over here, so it'll be a different look than normal. Normally the sun's rising on me, but I'm hoping we can get a better look at the koi. You can see there's hyphen banded sharks down low, and you know, the pond itself is doing well. It's super clean. We're auto water changing on it. What I don't like is I've got some floating poop in here. Like, we're really putting the food on. Like, this thing's emptying like every week, so it's pounds and pounds of food. But the fish look amazing. They're putting on weight. They're putting on size. I need to back flush this filter. You know, maybe I set the camera down and I do that today. Maybe I don't. You know, but I can tell that it needs to be back flushed, and that's just because there's sediment on the top of this thing, and I know I just need to do that. And you know, but overall, the water itself, clean, healthy. We're auto water changing. Like, this much water is going into this pond at all times. It basically changes like 500 gallons a day, so, you know, the fish never like to, I always create a shadow on the pond, so they never want to see me. But let's see if I can come over here and visit some of them. Oh, I forgot I even had this back here, this little Daphnia pond. I've got a little Daphnia pond here. I wonder if I still have Daphnia. Like, this has all been evaporating. I should put some more water in here, but oh yeah, there's definitely Daphnia in there. Yeah. So that's good. I could get some more water in there. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll scoop some water from here into there. Ooh, and if I really wanted to do a treat, I could feed the Daphnia over here to the white clouds. But we'll make a trip right over to here, and we'll show off some more things. So here's how I evaluate how well one of my ponds is doing. I kind of wave a net around in there, and if I pick up a lot of fish, doing awesome. If I don't pick up any fish, not doing so awesome. And so let's, oh yeah, hopefully lots of stuff comes up. Well, there's some right there, you know. Yeah, obviously there's gonna be needles and stuff in here, but oh geez, I'm trying to do this one-handed. It never works out well when you're trying to do stuff like this one-handed, but yeah, there's definitely fish, you know. So let's, and they're all looking good and healthy, and yeah, let's you know, let's do a couple more swipes and see if we can't find fry and stuff too. Like, you kind of just run it around in there and find, oh yeah, there's lots of fish going on in there. Hey, let me see how many I can find. Like, maybe I'm growing way more than I thought here. So back and forth a couple of times. Let's see what I come up with here. Came up with a lot of needles this time. Ah, come on. Try to get some of these needles out, but there's so many fish in here too that, is that fish not alive? Is it just playing dead? I think it's just playing dead. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of good-looking white clouds, in my opinion. If you kind of take them into my hand here, I mean, this is, you know, these guys are looking good. I've got more and more and more of them in here. Like, I didn't put this many out there. I only put like 15 of them or something out there. So a lot of these are growing up, and you know, they're still. Oh man, doing this one-handed, not the best, but still lots of, you know, fry. I'm trying to get this kind of stuff out while I'm doing this. I mean, if you're gonna sort through it, why not, right? So look at that, 3 more. But yeah, I'm not seeing many fry, so I wonder if we're hitting a stage where there's so many adults that a lot of fry aren't making it. Because there's, you know, there's still, you know, 3 more right there too, but. Let me see, there's gotta be like, I bet you if I come up underneath this thing, maybe? What if I just empty net here and just go, let's see if I caught anything from that. Ugh. Not really, no. Like, there's not a lot of babies at this point. I wonder if I need to feed more, more small foods. I can pull up plenty of juvenile and adults, but in terms of actual babies, not coming up with many. But that's okay. I'm not trying that hard this year, and it seems to be that I can come up with a lot of fish. So yeah, you run a scoop through, and if I run another scoop through, yeah, I'm picking up more and more fish. So I think they're raising up, just not in big numbers. I think enough that I should be, if I pulled some of the adults out, I'd actually get more of a harvest, I think. So yeah, I'd say this pond's doing pretty good. Catching some moths, which they're a little big, but they're breaking down, and the water's green. That's important to me. Green water really helps them grow. So yeah. So that's the 2 ponds I've got at the moment. I didn't get nearly as many set up this year as I wanted to, but what can you do? So working in the fish room again, working on a project right here. You can see it happening, and at this point, when you see this video that you're watching right now, you've probably already seen this video. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to come out to, but you can see it in this stage at least. And I've got the tripod set up, but today I'm just working in the fish room. Noticed some cool things. While the plants are getting decimated by the turtles that I had floating in here, they actually seem to be thriving up, like they've rooted themselves in the cork bark, which I thought was kind of cool. So yeah, I just thought that was neat. Let me know in the comments down below what tanks you want to see me set up next. I want to do something with this. I don't know what I'm doing with this tank yet. It's not staying platies, I know that. But also, I know I need to set up a tank for the Yellow Labs and Morai Dolphin combo, and those might go into, let's say this tank over here, or they could go into the tank down low here, which is 75. But all of them I want to set up and show people how I would set it up and things like that. So yeah, let me know if you have any ideas. Like, there's the South American tank, with the fire mount, stuff like that maybe I set up. What else was cool that I saw in the fish room today? I'm just kind of waiting for water to overflow. I need to refill all my fish feeders. I'll be doing that today too. Yeah, I don't know. These foods are working out pretty well for my turtles. I like this one quite a bit. This one is like, it's just the chunks of fish. Oh, that's actually the wrong one. The chunks of fish one and krill, or at least gramaris or shrimp or whatever you want to call it. The turtles are just super digging on this. Like, they love it, and it like feels a little bit greasy even. So yeah, let me get some more of that in there, and they just love to chomp down on it. I'm going to feed my little turtles over here as well, but stuff's expensive, but I feel like a little bit goes a long way, and it's got lots of calcium in it from the bones, and and I've tried different things. Like, here's this one is the gramaris mixture. I actually like this mixture better, so I'm carrying that. I don't know if it's on the website yet. I should probably put it on the website if it's not, but if you're into turtles, this stuff's pretty wicked awesome. Lamont was also feeding this to his Amazon puffers and things like that, which makes some sense to me for sure. Any carnivore. But what else do I have going on? I want to show you guys. Let me get these covered up because I don't want to walk away and get them wet or something. That would be bad. These are the sticks that are covered in calcium, which turtles seem to love also. But in this tank, I've gotten tired of the way it looks, so I turned the light out so that we'd start killing off duckweed and stuff. And I've got this goldfish doing work in here. So when you get a small little goldfish, they'll start eating the duckweed and things like that for you. And so I kind of want to reset this tank, get it reset up. I need less duckweed, less algae, less all these things, and to get it back in shape. So I'm leaving the light out so algae slowly dies off. And this goldfish, he's really starting to chunk out because he's eating so much duckweed and stuff like that, but he's doing a good job, so I'm letting him continue to do his work. We still get sunlight in from the window anyway, but yeah, that just happens. So this tank cleared up on its own again. I really need to plant it out because it's just good. It goes through a cycle of like green, then not green, then green, then not green. And the problem is I've got a Ray 2 fixture on it, so really bright light for only a 40 breeder with no plants. And so, yeah, that's just the way it happens, I suppose. I want to move these guys out of here, kind of get this tank prepped so I can build something with it if I wanted to. That's just the black neon tetras. I'm thinking about moving up to a tank up there, just a holding tank, so they're easy to catch when I need to move them. What else? So I'm probably moving lots of fish today, checking on my water again, so that making sure I'm not flooding. We're doing okay there, good. I need to feed more small foods. I think I lost the fry in here, or at least if they're, I'm not seeing them. They used to hang out up top. Maybe they're hanging out down in this algae, but I want to get on top of this too. And that's, you know, that's where, if you've seen the other video, if it's already come out, that's where you see, I'm just gonna start taking it one tank at a time and start making, you know, one tank after one tank after one tank awesome, so that, you know, I'm not going, they're, you know, it's really hard to go, let's make all the tanks better today. Like, that's just not gonna happen. So I think if I start with one tank at a time and just start fixing things I don't like, that's, you know, gonna do well. You know, that being said, plants in here thriving, you know, it's doing okay. It's just not what I want it to be doing. You know, the algae in there, it doesn't look so good. I want to build a basking spot for this turtle. Maybe I'll get that done today. If I show it down there, if it'll adjust. Yeah, so I'm gonna get back to working on the project, and we'll see what else I get done today, because I know I really want to work on that water system as well. There's all these things I want to do, but it's still early. I want to say it's like noon or something, so I got lots of time. Back to work for me. All right, time to start working on water. I know I just keep putting it off. I don't know why. I think if I get some way into it, I'll finish it. So what I'm going to focus on is getting it so that water can come out of this thing first, which means getting a pump way down in there and hopefully getting that to work. And then I just thought of something amazing. Like, what if that bulkhead down there leaks? Like, what if it's not tight enough? Well, I think you tighten it on the outside, but I was thinking, there's no way I could possibly tighten that. But I think I could tighten it on the outside. So anyway, I'm thinking if I can get water coming out of here, I could physically use this. Like, I could let water sit in it, and then I could at least pump it out if I needed to. And what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use this this basically pump here that's a sump pump. It's like 3,000 gallons per hour or more. And, you know, here's the problem. Here's what I don't like about it. I go to such a small, you know, like, it's got a huge outlet, and I go to such a small diameter right off the bat, you know. So maybe I don't want a rigid plummet either. I was thinking like maybe 1-inch PVC. That's not too expensive all the way up, you know, through this thing, but maybe that makes some sense. Maybe it's 1-inch PVC up to here and then something. Like, I'm not sure, but maybe I just leave it like this for now and then test it later. But maybe I'll get my tripod. I'll show you how powerful this thing is. This thing is like nutty powerful. Like, yeah, like 30 feet in the air powerful, kind of crazy. But yeah, so I just can't, I don't know, I just can't get motivated. I know what I gotta do. I gotta, you know, basically get that in there, and then I'm gonna have to punch a hole, either another hole, or maybe, I probably won't punch another hole. I'll probably take this off here, like, and just go through here, and that'll be at least 2. This line right here is what is currently water changing the totes. You know, and in theory, in a perfect world, I think I would have all of the water be pre-done before it goes through here. So that's something to maybe work on as well. But yeah, I'm gonna get started, because if I don't get started, I'll never finish. And so if I can get started, at least then I might make some headway. So yeah, I plugged in the pump that we're talking about using, and it literally would like jet propel itself. Because this is like no joke. Like, this is like insane water. Like I can really make a lot of current in here if I wanted to. The fish can't keep up with it and stuff like that. But this is what I'm going to use to pump the water, and hopefully it's going to be able to pump it through a wall and do all my tanks at one time. That remains to be seen. So we were going to go ahead and, you know, try it out. Well, there's no turning back now. I drilled a hole, and now I just got to get the float valve installed, which we're going to do that next. And if you guys haven't watched my videos in a while, you probably missed the first time we did this, but basically the way this works is there's a float, and when the water level rises, so water's going to come out of here, when the water level rises, this actuator right here closes it. And so this is a double fail system. Basically, I'm going to have it timed in the other room to take about as much time as it takes to you know, fill up. But at the same time, if that ever failed, that system ever failed, I want it to shut off as well. So that's the logic, and we're going to go ahead and try and install it and see how it goes. Well, took another trip to the hardware store. Had to buy a couple of parts to do what I want to do. I'll show you where I got hung up, and I think we're almost operational with the auto water change system again. But so basically, I've got a hose coming in from that sump pump from the other side. I've got this line right here that currently what it does is it was connected to the other basin we had. Instead, I'm going to disconnect this, and I'm going to connect it to a splitter here. So that way, in theory, I can pump water to this line and this line. Now I've already reconnected this line to the other system, and I needed a male to male let me make sure this is correct here. Yeah, 3/4 male hose thread by hose thread. Yep, that's exactly what I needed. I needed hose to hose so that I can go from that female to this female connection right here. So I'm going to get that, and then we're going to see if it works. So stay tuned. Alright, now you can see we've got both lines. That's going to handle both walls here. That's going to handle this wall and then all these tanks over here in theory. And in theory, I also have the water set up over there, so I'm going to try it. We're going to go to zone 1. We're going to try it for an hour and see how much that fills it up. Let me bump this timer up here. Oh, I've gone way too far at this moment. I want to go down to 60 minutes. And, oh geez, come on. There we go, we've got 60 minutes. So far, no leak right here, that's good. This is all new joint work right here, so that's good. Now, we have to take a trip to the other room. And in theory, this is going to allow me to get rid of this and install racks and tanks over there, which that's the next step. Not today, but, you know, we're going to go over, and hopefully we're not just making a giant mess over here. Sounds like water's going in the right place. Let's get on the ladder here and see how we're doing. Water's falling in like it should, you know. Flooding in water. So that seems to be working okay. Now what I have to do, so the only thing I don't have going yet is I've got, well, I don't have any air or anything going in there. And I really want air because air is going to help me gas off any chlorine. And plus I want all the water that's going into tanks to be maximized for aeration. So now I got to figure out, okay, do I have a pump that can even come close to pumping that deep? Or do I need to put, well, I know what I need to do. I need to put my second air pump. That one that's sitting way over there not being used currently by the door, the one down below there, I need to install that in this room, and I can pump air to these 4 totes and that thing and any other tanks I get going in here. So that's what I really need to do. The question is, will I get that done? So at the moment, I'm going to let that go for an hour and see how much it fills, so that way I know, like, oh yeah, we do 300 gallons an hour, whatever it is. And then once I know that, then I can test pumping the water to the tanks to see if that works. For now, I'm gonna work on other stuff. I don't know if I showed you guys this yet, so I also got the basking spot done for this turtle. He's kind of, you know, the water's a little high at the moment, but we're gonna fix that. And, you know, so that got done. And then I cleaned up another tank. I cleaned up this tank a little bit. So, and I got the auto feeder on and all that. I might have shown that already, but yeah, I'm still working. And, you know, it's as much as I can get done before Taco Tuesday happens. So I'll let you guys know what I get done. All right, well, it's like 5 o'clock at this point. Still working. I decided to install that Gemco air pumps to run so much quieter, and you know, you can see the air is absolutely insane, and I'm using the Never Clog air stones to be able to pull this off. You know, this is a Never Clog air stone, and oh, I'm zooming in there, but when you drop it down in there, you know, that's no joke when it comes to air. I mean, I just need to weigh them down a little more. I'm pumping so much air through them that's actually the problem I'm running into, is that they float a little bit with this much air. And don't get me wrong, this is a lot of air. So, but the goal is that I can quiet down all of these returns and have them go below the water, and it should be a lot quieter in here. And I did plumb one to the, not plumb one, but put one down to the bottom of this thing. And yes, this is still leaking. I'm gonna take it apart. I bet you it doesn't have any plumber's tape on it. So I'm gonna put some plumber's tape on it and see if I can't get it to seal correctly, which I'm just guessing that's what'll do it. So I'm gonna get to do that now. Well, I think that's all I'm gonna get done today. I repaired that bulkhead and we're hoping it didn't have any plumber's tape on it, so I'm hoping that does it. So we're refilling it again. That takes a while to get it high enough to see if it's gonna have a problem. So wait for my wife to get home, we'll go out to dinner, come back, and I'll address it if there's a problem. I got the air hooked up, got it quieted down on most of these. I need to swap out this filter if I want to quiet it down over here. You can see all the koi are loving the airflow, but yeah, it's one of those things that the more things I get hooked up to the system, the less loud it's going to be. So right now, it's pretty loud because there's so much air going into all these. You can see just the current it's making in all these. So, you know, it's a testament when I say you can't really max out a Never Clog air stone. They can put an insane amount of air through it. But at the same time, I don't want to put back pressure on my pump too much. You know, I need to look into that. I think you can do that with them, but, you know, I want to look into that, make sure that I can't ruin that pump by turning these things down. But yeah, so I'm gonna get that done, and then maybe I'll plumb something, you know, some air around the room here to plumb in like those shrimp tanks and stuff like that I want to do. But for now, I think that's all I can get done in one day, which I feel like it's a lot. You know, I just played with some tanks, but then I got some major projects done, in my opinion. So, you know, that lays groundwork for the next thing I'm gonna do, which is more tanks and things like that. So, well, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, came along for the ride. And as always, let me know what you want to see, what you want to see more of. Leave comments down below, like the content, share it. Let me know what I can do better, and we'll see you in the next episode.